Boom, we have a beautiful day today on an actual super cloudy day, but it is accessory day. A fun, no hurt, good pump, good blood flow, just good stimulus day that just feels really good to train. I feel like one of the biggest problems that, like, I guess you wouldn't call it plaguing, whatever, plaguing the bottom 95% of powerlifting is the fact that they think powerlifting is like SBD. There's no such thing as power building. It's not a thing. Any good powerlifter, any powerlifter worth their salt runs accessories. There's a stream of hypertrophy the entire time, all the way running up until a meet. I'm working in hypertrophic ranges when it comes to my accessory days. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 weeks out, kind of chill on the intensity side of things, but the volume's up there, man. And we are extra excited about today's accessory day because the one issue with this gym, this new gym that you guys have seen, I guess the only gym that you guys have seen in these last 4 or 5 days, is the dumbbells are so light. And I didn't spot it when I originally walked in because they have 2 or 3 different sets of dumbbells. And I walked in and I assumed one of them ran like 1 through 100, and then like the Ivanko ones or maybe like 100 through 150. And then there's some big dudes in there, man. I don't know if you guys saw in yesterday's episode, but there were 2 guys that, and I, trust me, I belong as the weakest bench presser in any gym, any legitimate gym. But it's been a while since I have been. And these 2 guys walked in. The guy next to me, Javier Ortiz, I think his name, whatever. He benched 5 or close to it. And then a guy walked in who was like mega. He looked almost like a lily bridge. He's a big dude. But they both outbenched the hell out of me. So I assumed that the gym would probably have some like decent dumbbells, you know, but that wasn't the case. So to remedy that, whoops. We got these guys from, what, I think they're Titan Fitness. We were gonna go Rogue, because if you're gonna buy something like this, especially gym equipment wise, I always just think buy the nicer thing. But they have them on their website for $170, and the title is Dumbbells. I'm so glad I didn't pull the trigger. I was about to check out. And then I clicked more specs because I was like, wait a minute, is this even worth it? How long is the sleeve? How many plates can I actually fit on there? When you click more specs, it says sold individually, which is $170 for one handle. And I'm like, dude, that is the biggest joke ever. These feel super nice and sturdy, and the reason why we're excited is because pushing accessories is really important. If there's any of you guys watching this that like don't treat your accessories, and when I say push, it doesn't mean just go to failure. It means treat them exactly like you would a primary. Build throughout the block. You'll end up on a week 4 doing 103% of what you thought you'd be able to do on week 1 if you went all out. Does strength equal size? No. Does more size give you a higher potential for strength? Absolutely. And that is the whole thing. So now that we have these, we can actually push our accessory day to day. I'll, get rid of all this packaging and find like a kind of nonchalant way to bring these in. I don't want to be the guy with like loadable dumbbells walking through the door. But we mix our pre, we have these, we're gonna grab our bag and head in for like a fun Tuesday accessory day. All right, you guys, these clips are short. Let's see what we can fit commentary-wise. We get warmed up on our A movement of incline dumbbell bench with some 90s. This A movement has not changed at all, and I love it because I'm a really weak barbell bench presser, but not a weak presser overall. When it comes to dumbbells, incline, overhead press, any of this stuff, I absolutely loved the way that these adjustable dumbbells performed and really let us push. I know this setup looks a little goofy with the flat bench, you know, whatever. Pitted up there, there's no seat, but that's just because the dumbbells or the benches at this gym are like this Rogue composite rubber that's like way too sticky. Like it doesn't let your scaps move freely at all, even though we are trying to keep those, you know, set and pinned down. If my scap does want to move about half an inch, maybe, you know, a little bit, it should be able to. So that's what this remedies for us here. Now this chest supported incline row I absolutely love. Now this, along with that incline dumbbell, has not left the program in 2 or 3 years. You do not need to be program hopping like this. Set up a functional, no fluff accessory day, make minor changes in pauses and tempo and things like that over the course of years, and watch yourself really grow and gain from that. Now we keep this incline chest supported instead of like a traditional seal row, just because we're having some issues in like rhomboid area and keeping that degree of shoulder flexion low and not hitting it directly is really nice. This is one of the best things I've done for my training, period, is chest supported lateral raises over any other form of lateral raises. When I started doing these, and all I mean by chest supported is I'm not leaning up against it. I'm just feeling the amount of pressure that I initially set on it and making sure that it stays as constant as it can, that I'm not leaning or swaying away from it to get these things up. My medial delts, my lateral, they started blowing up strength and size-wise when I started doing these. It's been probably 5 or 6 months. It's awesome. Now, curls is the only thing that I don't really push. I guess those lateral raises, I'll push block to block in terms of progressively overloading them. Like I'll stick with 40s for a whole block, maybe 2, 3 whole blocks before going up to 45s. These, I consistently stay up 35 as much as I want some massive biceps. It seems like when I do push them and progressively overload them more seriously, I start to run into bicep tendonitis-y issues and shoulder issues overall in my bench, in my low bar squat. So 35 seems to be that sweet spot between, you know, what we can do. We used to push these to like 90, like really stupid stuff. But it's just good stimulus there that's not going to affect my primaries. Now we finish with an H roll. We always finish with some sort of external rotation thing. I've been really enjoying this for probably the last 2 or 3 phases, blocks. Lights up the rear delts. Actually, this angle of press, not obviously the front raise, but when I do come back below the hip, that is like the highest degree of activation that you can get angle-wise for your rear delts. It's awesome. And it's a really old school west side upper back exercise that has been like long forgotten, and it is just awesome. Also really helps my scaps feel healthy for low bar and help them lift off the rib cage a little bit. All right, you guys, a sweet accessory day. I'm so happy with those loadable dumbbells and the way that they actually perform, feel in the hand. They're not like super rinky-dinky, like toothpicky, dancing around in my hand. They actually sit well. The knurling's nice. They're nice and balanced. The actual, what's it called? Sleeves rotate really well. It's an awesome sleeve and definitely the best for the price. And I'm sure I already said something in the voiceover, but thank you, Heather, for those little end of the dumbbell thingies, because I didn't know how much of a factor they would play, but having them almost made me realize what it would be like to not have them, and it would be the most awkward thing ever. I'd end up with a bunch of bruises. So thank you, Heather. But I'm not the biggest, like, preach to beginner powerlifters guy. There are enough guys on the internet reiterating the ABCs of powerlifting, 1, 2, 3s, 101s, and trying to get, like, clout off of that. I'm not a clout guy. Could not care less. But if there is one thing I will say, with the amount of people that are flooding into this sport, with the talent pool growing, and we've never had more beginners who have no idea what's going on, who think they know what's going on, with a random chip on their shoulder because they happen to compete in a certain federation or happen to follow a certain, it's horrible. Take those seriously. If there's one thing that I could tell you, your accessories and developing strong base as a human being, just foundational training, the amount of guys that aren't spending 5 to 7 years pushing hypertrophy and just trying to get big and strong before hyper specifying in the powerlifting space has never been bigger. The best thing you can do for yourself if you're getting into competitive powerlifting at the same time as you're getting into the gym is realizing you're not strong. Like, as a human, you're going to get all of these awesome PRs off of, whatever, just newbie gains and improving tech and blah, blah, blah. But nothing will do you better for your bench or your squat than just getting jacked. Eat your food, hit your accessories hard. Oh, we have a mount. I could have been driving this whole time, but I hope this is a little better. Do your accessories, eat your food, sleep, and treat the growth of your body. I can't tell you the amount of people that reach out to me. What do I do this? How do I do this? That's how you do it. Get big, lift weights, stick to programming. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some belt squat and Larson.